Welcome back to the final session of today's conference. I hope you have enjoyed the conference so far. This session is titled, Reducing Waste with Successful Charging and Circular Initiatives. May I invite Engineer C.F. Leung, Director Operations of BEC, to give his presentation. CF, please.
Right. Testing. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah, right. Thank you, Jamie, for a kind introduction. And thank you for staying until this last session, right? This session will talk about waste, and this session will start with two presentations, and we will go to the panel discussion. So in my presentation, I will introduce you our packaging consumption and packaging guide that we collaborate with EPD, right? So you all know that the waste management, right, contributing to the third largest carbon emission in Hong Kong, and it contributes to around 8%, right? So you also know that there is some regulation. For example, the new regulation on disposable plastic. The first stage of the first stage of the scheme already start on the 22nd of April, right? So we are all affected by this new regulation, right? So talking about the packaging guide project background. So this project, we start to work with EPD back to 2021, and we cover different key packaging consuming industry. So objectives is quite simple, right? Is to provide industry-specific practical tips and experience sharing on achievable sustainable packaging management. And the second one is to offer guidance and reference, because we want to encourage the manufacturers or the retailer to report their packaging use consumption in their ESG reporting. And of course, the third one is to support the government initiative to achieving carbon neutrality before 2050. So we will develop altogether a packaging sectorial guide. So as you see from the screen, 5 of them already published. They are supermarket and grocery store, logistic, e-commerce, hotel and hospitality, and the 5th one is the electronic and electrical appliances. So, and 3 of them are still under development. They are beverage manufacturing, food manufacturing, and the last one is importer. And we expect all the last 3 guides will be published before September of this year. So what are the process of developing this guide? So mainly we will divide it into 4 stages. The first stage is, of course, is talking about the desktop and the market research. We try to benchmark with other international best practices. And the second stage, we will do the stakeholder engagement. You know, BEC is very strong in doing stakeholder engagement. And we want to hear the voice from the industry practitioner or even trade association. We want to learn from them and to hear their voices and to learn from them whether these practical tips are feasible or not. So during the stakeholder engagement process, we organized 8 different meetings, engaged more than 130 participants from 76 organizations or associations. So the first stage of the project is to, of course, to develop the guide, and the final stage is to publish the guide, and that can be downloaded in the EPD website, which I will show you the QR code at the last slide. So talking about the overview of the guide, so it mainly divided into 4 parts. The first part is talking about the introduction, mainly talking about the scope and the classification of packaging. You know, packaging may be developed primary, secondary, and tertiary packaging. So we give them different the definitions. The core part is provide practical tips for achieving sustainable packaging for different sectors. Of course, the third part is talking about the resources. We can provide some FAQ and provide some of the useful resources for the readers to follow with. And the last part is the useful tool. They are all in the appendix, because the first is the summary checklist. So we provide a checklist for the readers to let them know where they are and what they can be improved. And the second one is the packaging reporting template. As I mentioned before, we want encourage the practitioner to report their packaging consumption. And the last one is the step-by-step self-assessment tool to sustainable packaging management. So the tips you can see from the screen is mainly divided from 4 stages: prevention, reduction, reuse, and recycle. So I will try to illustrate some of the tips, an interesting case study for you. Well, the first one is to avoiding or eliminating the non-essential packaging. So as you see from the left photo, right, and one mainland China company has optimized the size of their carton box because they want to reduce the size of the carton box to reduce unnecessary packaging. So this is very easy for the manufacturer to reduce the packaging. And the right-hand side is that another company in France, right? So they eliminate the use of the plastic bag for the product production. So it's echo the prevention the use of the single plastic. The second method is the reduction. Reduction includes the redesign of the packaging. So like the middle one, right? You buy some fruits in the supermarket, right? There's already some technology that some supplier that adopt the laser technology to print the labels directly on the surface of the fruits and the vegetables to reduce the plastic wrapping, right? For the packaging. On the right-hand side example is that the one electronic and electrical appliance supplier in China, they just use one paper box for the non-foam products. That means just one piece of big carton box to wrap their products, right? And the next one is using environmental friendly alternative of packaging materials. So I think my panelists will all share with you the recent product design in reducing, maximizing the use of the recycled content of the beverage bottle. And you see from the middle one, most of us will order the thing from that supplier, right? You see that they are trying to avoid the use of the bubbles, right, which for plastic in the transportation. They use the paper one to protect the products, right? And the next one is the green supply chain management. So an example in Singapore is that a supermarket and grocery store, they joined the packaging partnership program. They also encourage the supply chain to foster the use of the sustainable use of the resources in the packaging. And the right-hand side, and a hotel hospitality in Thailand, they collaborate with their supplier to implement the take-back recycling program, right? And another one is to install the refueling station. So you know Hong Kong already, some of the store like the nearby, just you bring the bottles to the supermarket or to store to buy the, say, vinegar or even the shampoo, etc., right? And the logistic company in China, they design a reusable bag that equipped with our RFID technology so that they can trace the bag, and the bag can be reused and more durable than the conventional one, which can be used for more than 100 times. So the last part is talking about the recycle. So recycle, right, you see the left-hand side, some supermarket or shopping mall already set up the RVM and even the beverage collection box to encourage the customer to recycle the used bottles, right? And also, like the hotel in Hong Kong also collect and upcycling the Chinese mooncake box that I believe most of us already have the experience to recycle the mooncake box, right? So talking about the packaging, why packaging reporting is so important? You know, because we are facing more stringent ESG requirement. For example, like the Hong Kong Exchange Guide, Hong Kong's ESG reporting guide, one of the KPIs to mention that to encourage the listed company to disclose their total packaging materials used for their finished products, and if applicable with reference to the per unit produced. So this is some kinds of the regulatory requirement. And I think some of you also do the CPD reporting, and the CPD reporting cycle is coming, right? So in the CPD, they also require the us to provide the similar data, talking about the plastic packaging on the total weight, the raw materials content, and the circularity potential. So this is the drivers to encourage the vendors and the suppliers to report their packaging consumption. So in the guide, we also provide some of the guiding questions to the readers how to do the packaging reporting. Of course, my panelists have sufficient experience in handling this, but mainly on the 5 questions, right? How to define the reporting boundary, how to identify the source of the packaging consumption, and what are the types of the packaging being consumed, and how to conduct data collection, estimation, and calculation. We know that the process is tedious, right? So there's another way out to do some estimation. And the last one is how to properly report and disclose the packaging data. And all the packaging guide provide the answer to these questions. So my panelist companies also disclose their packaging in their ESG reporting. So we may talk about during the panel discussion. And this is a growing industry trend for the packaging disclosure, right? Not just carbon, not just electricity, not just water consumption, also packaging. So to conclude my part, of course, there's a QR code, so you can download the packaging guide through this QR code. So this packaging guide provides a self-evaluation so that the practitioner to refer to the guide to perform a step-by-step self-evaluation, and they can explore the gaps in the packaging management along the supply chain and throughout their business cycle. And last one is to formulate a holistic packaging reduction plan and considering continual improvement options. So the packaging reporting, we also provide some of the template so that you can disclose your packaging consumption data in a more systematic and standardized manner. And the last one, this guidebook can be used as an engagement tool, not just within your company, like the ESG team, legal team, procurement team, R&D team, but you can also use this guide to engage with your vendors or even your clients in the supply chain. So I think that's the end of my part, and thank you.
Thank you, CF. Please be seated. Next, let us invite Mr. Sam Chan, Senior Director of Work Dynamics Accounts Management of Zhonglan LaSalle Limited, to deliver his presentation. Mr. Chan, please.
Hi everyone, thanks for BEC invitation to share some. I think this week need to have more successful case about waste reduction. Honestly speaking, I think there is still a lot of corporate company or organizations that are still working hard on waste reduction. Today I'm going to share one of a good example what they are currently doing. And actually, you know that sometimes when it is being sick, you need to have a doctor to diagnose whether you have any problem. So that one of our company, they do waste audit. They want to know what's the problem they are. So that they need to know what the problem in the waste management. Actually, what is waste audit? First of all, on the first day, they understand where is the rubbish bin, and then they need to know the logistic, and then on the second day, they do the collection, collect all the waste on one day, and then finally get all the waste like sorting. This is paper, this is plastic, this is metal, this is general waste. So that they get all the data on one day, so that they can understand what the waste or anything they are generate from their waste bin, or even though the recycling bin. From this, you can see they are do very they have a very detailed analysis. What is the waste? For example, you can see how much recyclable waste they are generating, what is any potential compostable material, and any other potential recovery material, and also any long recovery material. So that you can see what is the major type of waste generated by a company or in an office. From this case, you can see the majority is still, you can see potential compostable materials is still in major. The other is we need to know who is the most waste generator. You can see from this, we can have the cafe area, kitchen, office, bathroom, public space. We can see where is the most waste generator. From this, you can see from this company, most of the waste is from the cafe. You can see is cafe, they are generating most of the food waste, so that we can see how to how to minimize them. At the same time, we can also see the waste contamination. It means that whether there is some general waste that go into the recycling bin, or even though in the recycling bin they have having some waste or food waste put in the recycling, make the recycling cannot be recycled. So that we can know about this and then to think how can we do for a purpose. The other is also identify how much waste previously we are going to the waste bin can be taken out to be recycled. So that this could help the company to understand how the waste they are currently generate and how they can anything can enhance. Then afterward, they can have a set of different kind of methods or solutions they can do on this. First of all, they can also set up a comprehensive waste management plan so that they can identify what is the major waste type and define way for waste reduction program. Then we can also think about the workplace design, any construction, so that how can minimize any waste generated during the construction. The other is the waste management change. As presented by CF, maybe there is some waste is generated by the packaging, whether we can reduce such kinds of things. The other is we also have a leadership. Sometimes, you know, when there is no leader saying you need to go for this, then you can't do this. Maybe we need to have a team. Apart from the senior management, is also need to involve the frontline or the working level, so that every people involved on this. After that, we need to have a training, so that we have the waste audit program. And very important is let the employee they also involved on it. The other is the procurement and contract management. How we could purchase some environmental preferred purchasing policy. For example, we are trying to use some product. They are less long recycle package. The other is finally we can also identify some waste improvement program. Here I will share more about some waste improvement program. First of all, you can see them, as I mentioned, is the food waste. So that we put out a dashboard to let every people know that this is a lot of waste generated by your company. This is your responsibility. Let them know they just get what they want, don't get extra. Then also, we also can tell the kitchen to make only sufficient food, not make so excess. The other is we also, now it's very convenient. As mentioned, we need to get the recycling, take it out, but now we can use IoT. We can have IoT waste sensor in every recycling bin, every rubbish bin. We can collect the data instantly or daily to let all the people know how much waste they are generating. And then we also understand, have set up a program is to improve the diversion. Why we use or reduce. We can see how much we can avoid from taking to the landfill. The other we need to, as mentioned, there is some contaminated waste because some of the recycle cannot put in the recycling bin. So that we put a more small refresh is higher impact signage to let every people know that what kind of material can put in which bin, especially, you know, plastic. There are the different kind of plastic bin. The other is to also have a better way register. We know how the waste is also going. The other is when you are in the company, they maybe provide different kind of drinks. So that previously we can use a lot of bottle, but finally you can see the recycling bin, there is a lot of empty bottle and need to be recycled. Can we reduce this so that we can see we are changing to not remove the single use, we are using some dispenser so that we can collect all the things at the same time. The other is when we have a lot of food waste, so that food waste repurpose is very important. The other is also we are thinking is to replace the bathroom paper towel by the hand dryer so that it no need to use any hand paper anymore. As mentioned, for the waste audit, we just ask the employee to know how much waste they are generating, how they are. It is sometimes when they have the engagement, also have a chance to educate whether they are doing the right thing. The other is also using some durable or usable packaging. As sometimes this company, they have a lot of internal, some equipment they are also transfer, so that whether they are periods using some paper box, they use some plastic reusable box so that they can keep it reused. By this, we have to do some comparison. You can see the diversion rate is increased by 8%. It means less 8% waste going to the landfill. So that you can see the monthly landfill rate is also increased, reduced by 40%, and also the recycling is also increased around 6%, and also is the the monthly ton is also 4%. I think finally, I will also talk about is in conclusion, there is a waste management hierarchy. As the first thing is always we says is reduce is the best things. We need to redesign how to have some incentive to reduce the waste to the landfill. So example, to review some purchase record or supply chain so that to eliminate waste from the vendor. And the other is about the reuse, whether we can calculate the reduction by the weight, and also have a tracking platform also reduce the packaging waste. The second is the reuse. We can think about when something we have generated, whether we can reuse it. And the last step is only whether we can consider is recycle or compose it. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chan, for your sharing. Please be seated. Let's move to the panel discussion. Now, please welcome our moderator, CF, and our panelist, Ms. Michelle Au, Director of Sustainability of China State Construction and Engineering Hong Kong Limited, Mr. Sam Chan, Senior Director of Work Dynamics Account Management of Zhonglan LaSalle Limited, Ms. Judy Ho, Sustainability Manager of Swire Coca-cola Hong Kong, and Dr. Amie Lai, General Manager, Sustainability of Great Eagle Holdings Limited. CF, over to you, please.
Right, thank you. Right, so this is the last session, right? So, and we have 4 different speakers from different industry, right? So we have around, the clock is 37 something minutes for us to discuss, right? First, so let me do some easy warm-up question, right? So maybe first question to Amie, right? And Judy as well, right? So what kinds of circularity action that you have taken in your company? I know that both of you have some interesting project. Can you share with the audience, right? Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, CF. I think here we are at Quarters, Hong Kong, and we noticed that Hong Kong people actually are seafood lovers. And have you heard that from a 2017 statistics, we actually imported over 7,000 tons of oysters into Hong Kong. And in average, Hong Kong people consume 3 times more than the global average in terms of seafood. So you can see that.
I'm one of the one.
All right. So, but you know that oyster shell is actually cannot be treated by regular food waste machine or cannot be sent to our OPARC. So how do we deal with it? It's kind of bulky and heavy. And so we have 2 programs actually trying to recycle or upcycle these oyster shells. One program is here in Quarters. We work with an environmental NGO, the Nature Conservancy, TNC, to convert, and we collect the oyster shells, we clean it in-house, and even steam it to make sure that we will not create hygiene problem. And then we send work with TNC and then use it in oyster reef restoration program. So so we help to. This is one way to help for the marine conservation, and it is a good habitat for the marine life. And over we are the first hotel partner for this project, and since 2020, we recycled over 25 tons for this oyster reef restoration program. And another one is even newer. Is we started last year March. We with a friend from EPD actually, KF Tang. I was talking with him. During one of the visit to Wire Park, I said, "Well, I really want to tackle these oyster shell issues. How can we do it?" I saw some paper that can be converted into construction or building materials. Can we have something in Hong Kong? And then he helped me to line up with a local cement manufacturer. So we tested out. We provided some oyster shell samples. They tested in the laboratory and found that actually the chemical composition is quite similar to limestone. So we collect the oyster shells from our hotels in the Lanham and also Eden, clean it, wash it, and then we send it to this cement manufacturer, Green Island Cement, and they help to convert, use it as a substitute for limestone and convert into it, and so make cement out of it. So we have been piloting this for a year and collected over 7 tons of oyster shells. And one thing I think is quite cool about this is actually, if oyster takes around 4 to 5 years to develop or grow into mature product. But if limestone, it takes millions of years for the formation. So actually, from our green building aspect, it's a rapidly renewable material, right? Right. So I think this is something that is quite cool. And oyster itself, actually, it is also a good carbon capture material. The oyster kind of filter the carbon ion in seawater. And then during calcification, and it can absorb the carbon ion. So actually, it's also contributing to carbon capture or sequestration. So this is something that we are working on, and we hope that later on we can also share this among the sector and our industry friends, and so we can scale up this project, and the impact is huge because China actually is one of the biggest oyster producer in the world. Right. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Amie, for great, fantastic ideas. Right. Actually, it's one stone kill 3 birds. Right. 一雞3尾. Right. Just not just tackle the waste problem, also help to produce some of the low embodied carbon construction materials, also as a carbon sink, right? Because more oyster, right? So other than oyster fan, I'm also a Coke Zero fan, right? So, right. So Judy, right? I know that there's some new design of your Coca-Cola bottle. Can you share with the audience, right?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, CF and BEC, for having Swire Coca-Cola here at this event. And I just wanted to start. I just want to give my appreciation to CF and Sam on their presentation, because what they have shared is exactly what we are doing at Swire Coca-Cola. So Sam mentioned about redesign. So in terms of redesign, we have tried to incorporate recycled content in our beverage packaging, and also. One example I always love to use is our Sprite. Do anyone in the audience know what's the color of Sprite?
Transparent.
Transparent, yes. Before it was?
Green.
Green, right? So that is a huge step from the brand team sacrificing or willing to give way to using transparent plastic in the packaging, because transparent plastic, we all know, has a higher recycle value. And in 2020, that happened in 2020. In 2021, we launched the Bonaqua labelless, and as I'm sure the audience here know that we're trying to incorporate eco design across this type of SKU, so that as a way to encourage consumer behavior and also as a way to reduce packaging waste, right? And then we also look into reducing, what can we do to incorporate the principle of reduction in our design. So we have across Hong Kong, I think over 160 Bonaqua water station to encourage customer or citizen to bring your own bottle. So you guys can go around Hong Kong, bring your bottle to get water from this water station. In terms of reuse, that is our iconic RGB returnable glass bottle. If CF is a Coke friend, I don't know if you're drinking the Coke from the returnable glass bottle, but that is locally made Coke. The bottle is being returned to our plant in Sha Tin, being washed, disinfected, and refilled with the product and being sold out to the market again. So that is our effort in terms of incorporating reusability in our packaging. And then lastly, recycle. We invested in, the Hong Kong first food-grade recycling facility in New Life Plastic. So that's our way, to incorporate redesign, reduce, reuse, and recycle across our business operation.
May I know if the recycling plant just serve for Coca-Cola or just all kinds of plastic bottle, right?
It's for all of Hong Kong. So we saw the gap in the Hong Kong recycling infrastructure, and we think by investing in a plastic bottle recycling plant will help us a step closer to closing the loop in achieving circular economy. And it's in Echo Park. For those who are interested, you guys are free to have a visit.
Right, I think the plant still have some capacity, right? So send more bottles to their plant, right?
Yes, welcome bottles.
Right. Okay, Michelle, I know you bring a box right here, right? So is it your initiative to help your company employees to reduce some of the waste, right?
Yes, but before I talk about this,
okay,
maybe for our company, I want to say something about how to reduce our waste.
Right.
I think that for most company, waste mean resources. Resources mean money.
Right.
So when we consider to waste reduction, actually we consider how to save our money, how to save our costs. So prevention is our first priority, of course. So to establish a management framework for each starting construction site is very important, because we can include all the parties of the project and then ensure them to follow the design, the plan, and to look after all the materials, how to utilize all the materials, or even though if have some material surplus, how to allocate those materials to another construction site. That is very important. So in recent years, we have self-developed a smart system called C-Smart System to manage for each construction site, and then the system platform can manage so many things. For example, the material storage and energy consumption, and then of course the worker safety and the control the quality of the progress, something like that. So according to the platform, all the party, even though maybe the subcontractor, even though they can also inform and note about the construction site progress, step by steps, and know how many workers are there, how many materials are purchased, and how many materials surplus. So, for example, if we have some material surplus, the platform will share the information to other site manager, so that they can note, this site has some surplus, and then I will ask those at that site manager to allocate the materials to them, so can save a lot. Secondly, of course, we have some waste materials or waste, construction waste. For example, we try to utilize it. One example is we have some waste tunnels. It is height for 4 to 5 meters, very high, very high. So that we decorate it, install some air conditioner and some furniture, and make them as kind of workers' rest room.
All right.
So of course for very large construction sites, and then put it there.
Right.
So can utilize those materials. But otherwise, they will just break it down and then dump it to the sorting plants or landfills.
Right. And thank you for the effort. Right. I saw that system is very powerful. Right. It's not just recording the activities at the site, and also can use to evaluate the carbon emission at various stage of the construction, right? So can you talk about your lunchbox?
Okay, lunchbox, actually, our company want to echo to the latest law about phasing out the disposal cutleries.
Right.
So our administration department to order a lot of food container, because even though our company as Wan Chai, is so many restaurants around our company, but most people, most colleagues of us like to go down and then buy the takeaway lunch and then go back to the office to have lunch. So that we order this one. This is the stainless steel food container. Can put it into microwave. What is the better it is because it's very easier to clean up than plastic container, and also very light. So many colleagues of us, even though they are gentlemen, they like to take it to go out and then clean it up at the office. Yeah.
Well, next time I use a BEC foldable box to exchange with you.
With logo of us.
Yeah, the size is more suitable for me, right?
Yes.
Actually, right. Thank you, right. So to Sam, right, you know that you mentioned about the waste audit, right? So, and the successful case story is that reduced around 18% of the waste, right? So is it a free of charge service to your tenants? Use mic.
Actually, not like free of charge.
All right.
So that we also charge, because there is still a lot of administration, we also need to do some analysis and also thinking about anything we can do. So that there is a little bit charge to the client to do this audit, because we also have our energy and sustainability team to support to do this. So that this is a little bit charging service. So, but the effect is very
significant, right?
Significant on it, yeah.
Right. So talking about some topic, right? You know, the government deferred the MSW charging, right? I know that you as a facility manager have done a lot in preparing the MSW charging, right? So do you have any particular experience that or best practice that you want to share with the audience, right? I want to say first that BEC is continue to do our trial because we want to learn from what we are doing and to share the best practice to the industry. Maybe in the next on. Thank you. Thank you, CEO, for making this decision, right? Right, so can you share with some of the difficulties that the tenants or even though the cleaning contractor that may face, and how you help them to overcome this challenge, right?
Honestly, I also manage some of most of the MNC company. Actually, before April, before the first, this year, the first implement day is on April. Actually, most of the companies already prepared for the implement of the charging scheme. Honestly, the charging scheme is some good is that they are changing the environment, changing the mind of a lot of company. They need to think about what they need to do on waste reduction. You know that previously very traditional office, every people will have a rubbish bin on their desk. You can see maybe this room will have 100 people, they will have 100 rubbish bin and then 100 rubbish bin bed. So that you can, but finally they're also starting to consider whether they can have a central bin. The other is, I think is more of them, they also get some, not just waste audit, they also collect the waste data. They're also sharing the waste data to their employee or their staff. This is quite impactful because the staff will also let the staff know whether the waste they are reduced or they are increased, and let them know they are take responsibility for this, so that when they see, oh, the waste is dropping, so that they are also honored to have this successful arrangement. And actually, for one of our sites, they are also doing some trial. Honestly, for some, as the Leung also talking about the food and beverage, actually they are creating a lot of waste, food waste. And sometimes it is very hard because, you know, F&B is, the cost is very competitive and they are not earning a lot of profit and nowadays, so that they are really not willing to do the food waste recycle because they need to fast, quick, and no much manpower to be spent on it. So that sometimes we also say maybe it is better to have the charging scheme so that they can be being painful because they throw away so much waste. So that sometimes we also support this, but we also tell them is, we can help you to do waste, food waste, so that we can help you to take out some waste to them, so that we are some of the our owner, they will also provide some special recycling bed for them to collect the waste, food waste, to help them to collect, to facilitate this kind of food waste, because we can find for the F&B, more of them is on the food waste. But on the other hand, when we also talking about the F&B, some large restaurant chain, actually they are using a pre-made material to the shop, so that the food waste they are generating is not too much. For example, McDonald's, we are also talking about for them. They didn't have too much, but it's only the packaging. They need to think about how to, every day they need to do it, and whether they can also consider to recycle and how we could help them to do the recycle.
Right, I know that government is launching a scheme to encourage the property management sector to sign a charter, right? But mainly for residential. I know that you are responsible for some commercial premises, right? So is it common for those commercial or office building to provide or install some of those, like food waste composter or the food waste recycling facility?
I think is the EPD also do a very good thing is they're also promoting the food waste scheme. They also have a different kind of, because they are also approaching us or we also approach them whether they can have some food waste collection. Because some of them, their food waste machine, actually every day they need to have collect a lot of food waste, but maybe one location they cannot have such large quantity to do the food waste recycle. So that the EPD also doing a good thing on this to help the shop or shopping center to help to collect those items.
Yeah, the food waste charter, right? All right. Yeah, and also they have some of the best practice guide for the property management sector for PFAS, the MSW charging. So my next question to Judy, right? And thank you very much, you and Suzanne, to join our stakeholder engagement workshop in preparing the packaging guide. Although the beverage sector not yet launched, but I just want to ask, I see from your ESG reporting, you do very comprehensive reporting on the packaging consumption, right? So can you share your experience how to collect this data, because it's look very comprehensive? I thought that maybe Suzanne's team and you spend a lot of effort in collecting the data from various operation from different places in Hong Kong, right? So can you share your experience?
Right. Thanks for the question. So we work really closely with our procurement team, looking into how or where we can source recycled content material because we do have a target. We do have a target to achieve, I think, 50% recycled content in our primary packaging by 2030. So we're always on the lookout with our procurement team and also working with our supply chain team to look into how are we working towards that progress. So in practical terms, what does that mean? That means we have monthly monitoring data. We have quarterly meeting with leadership. We have annual meeting to look into our target, to revisit our target, to look at where we are, to convey our needs to our supplier in terms of sourcing our PET. So I think the effort is not to just Suzanne and I, but it's to the whole team in Swire Coca-Cola Hong Kong. And I think also credits to our leadership because they do take our target very seriously. We get asked, and we need to show our performance in this regard. So, but we do have a really systematic way of tracking our packaging material used.
All right, thank you. Amie, how about in Great Eagle, right? Any other waste reduction or resources circularity initiative that you have taken, right? Have you worked with Cordis to tackle the first stage of the single-use plastic thing? Right?
Certainly. You know, that is our default that we would also be part of our regular program. But I think for us, including hotels and also our office buildings or shopping mall, actually the most of waste generated are by the building users, right? So how we can engage our building users and facilitate them to do more recycling is the key. So we helped, of course, the regular stuff, the paper, plastic, metals, and also glass, and also we also organized building-wide, electronic waste recycling, so they don't need to handle it. We can formulate a campaign so they can join our campaign and less hassle for them. And also we organize a kind of like a green challenge with our tenants, right? So we ask them to set reduction target on waste and also on energy and kind of like a competition. We want to kind of gamify the whole process with our tenants, see if we can inspire each other on this journey. That's another way. And one thing that I saw that you have the reverse vending machine you mentioned. There is one reverse vending machine for plastic bottle just next door at Lanham Place. That is the only one in Mong Kok area. So you can also, welcome to use that. And of course, I think a lot of different schemes that we are also working with different NGOs and our tenants and our colleagues to help facilitate waste reduction, or of course, we also have food waste recycling program and also food donation program. And for hotel, we also have this program that if we have surplus food, we put it up to this app. Then people can use a very good price to get that food kind of mystery kind of food package, food offering. So that is something that we are also working on. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that you are trying to gamify some of the tenant engagement program, right? So will they have some incentive if they have some improvement in their operating performance, right?
Yes, we offer some if like carbon audits, venue, free venue, and also coupons and exercise, wellness program, things like that too, for different categories. So we have, the overall champion, the building champion, the company that have most innovative ideas and things like that. So trying to, encourage and more sharing and also participation. But it's not easy, actually.
Right. So you need some more assistance from your colleague or even some other consultant to help you to execute that program, right?
Exactly.
Right. And talk about the MSW charging already differ. So we as the business sector, right? So what we should do right now to keep this topic as a hot topic, right? To encourage the citizen in Hong Kong to do better waste reduction and proper recycling. So any thoughts from you guys, right?
All right, let me start first. And
Right.
I think we have been talking about this a lot of times, is how we can continue. And I see the government actually is already putting a lot of effort, is how to enhance or strengthen our recycling network, right? I think that's really important. And I remember when a couple years ago, when we had some discussion or roundtable or forum with BEC, we also mentioned that term, convenience, right? So it's very important, waste disposal and recycling should be equally convenient. Then it will also incentivize people to do it. And also I see that incentives that Lok Sang. Actually, I talked to some general public when when this charging scheme was has been the news, and I said, oh, what do you think? And they have some food waste machine installed at their estate. And actually, they are quite keen on using that app and doing food waste recycling, because they see that it's attractive incentive. So I think incentive, convenience, recycling network, and also ride on. Because I saw that the government actually has over 300 pilot schemes. How we can leverage the pilot scheme, the experience, the insight from that, and improve the execution or implementation. Like us, for our oyster program, actually we went through a lot of rounds of, fine-tuning in terms of operations, how we can work with the team on logistics, on cleaning, on collection, and whether we need to engage our customers to help us to separate the oyster shells out. So things like that, I think it would help.
Well, maybe Michelle, you have been working on this topic for...
Okay, I think as a company I think we should facilitate to our staff at our construction site and office. For example, we will install some food waste recycling bin at our construction site, in some construction sites, and also have a bottle vending machine, vending machine. That's, so how to facilitate our staff to do more on recycle? We hope that can change their mindset when they used to do and used to use those recycling bins, and then maybe they can take this practice to their home. So this is what can we do. Of course, as I said in before, on waste reduction policy, on policy-wise, we have some more prevention policy to minimize our waste generation. Yeah.
So the PRS one, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Sam? Are you still going to do some mock charging in your premises?
Some you're still doing, and actually they are still implement different kind of waste reduction. So that we are non-stopping program, because you know that there is sustainability is also a target of a lot of different companies because of ESG. And I also want to share is that we also need to think about the recycling facility. As mentioned yesterday, is only one bottle recycling machine in Mong Kok. Is this the recycling facility is sufficient? So that a lot of companies, even though some of the property or facility we are managing is also consider how could have a comprehensive recycling equipment or facility, because some of them you still have a paper, plastic, or metal. But can we also have recycle clothing, recycle the paper box, the drinking box, and also whether we could have a comprehensive, so that the people no need to go to this place to recycle this item and then go to this place to recycling this problem, especially for the residential. You can only this 3 to 4 type, cannot do all the things. Sometimes when I need to recycle clothing, I need to bring it back to 2 to 3 as they are about, and then we get it. The other thing will be we need to listen more about what actually happened. Our company also have this kind of lunchbox so that the staff can take it, and we also listen from our staff that this kind of thing they cannot go to some noodles. They also would with soup, so that we have also have ordered some of the container can specialize when the people can want to get some noodle with soup. You know that when you go to the restaurant, they can whether you want to split it, separate it, so that we also provide this kind of thing, so that they can bring it to the shop and then to do this. So that sometimes we also need to listen to the people what they are actually need, and then so that we can think about how to reduce. I think the reduce and should be the first thing we think about this. Don't generate any waste, then we can actually no need to think about recycle. So how can we do more on reduce?
Oh, great, thank you. Judy, any advice from you?
I echo my panelists here on the recycling needed. I think across our plastic bottle beverages, I think should a consumer or a customer wants to recycle, they will have very clear information of what to do with the cap, with the label, and with the bottle, because each is made of different type of plastics. So we provide very clear information if they want to put in their finished product into certain recycle bin. And we also put in recycle messaging across our product as well to encourage the behavior. But I think it needs to start with education. And research has shown that access and convenience are the key to enable recycling behavior. So I think I agree with what my colleagues have been mentioning here, that we do need to do more in terms of encouraging behavior in terms of recycling. And for everyone here, start building that practice.
Well, I start to ask my mate to do some proper recycling and dump the food waste in the food waste recycling bin provided by EPD every night. So that's my home practice, right? So time is running out. We still have around 5 minutes. So maybe now we open the questions to the floor. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Our colleague will pass you the microphone to ask the question. Thank you, Edwin. Right.
Thank you. She want me to ask the question.
She asked you to ask.
Edwin now from the Green Earth. Now, the panelists, I want to ask you whether you will voluntarily to provide a monthly waste disposal reduction data to the Legislative Council and the Environment Minister, Mr. Jie. by doing this, you demonstrate to the commercial sector that even without the MSW charging scheme, something positive can be happen. So the question is very direct. Will you give the waste disposal report to the Legislative Council? Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Edwin. I think we all collect the data, right? So any view that maybe Sam first, right, and from this side to that side, right?
As you know, there is a lot of recycling scheme or a lot of recycle certificate is organized by a EPD, so that this also need to provide the data to them. So that I think more of the company, they are quite open because this is not very confidential. They're also showing them they are just doing, because when they are the company, they are doing the waste reduction. They are really put the effort to drive down the waste. So that I don't think there is a very hesitation, even though there is not any confidential information. So that I think disclosing those into legislation council, I don't think is a very big problem. But this also depends on whether the company they are willing to do this. But I think this is a good suggestion for this.
Right.
I just asked Amie, because, for example, 4 of us, because our company will issue the ESG report every year, annually, right?
Yeah.
We will. So waste data we have already collect annually, and then
Already disclosed, right?
Yes, already disclosed. So, but that is under the scope 3.
Right.
Right? So I think how to promote more SME to have waste data collection. I think ESG report is one of way to encourage them to collect different data, including the waste data. Because as a upstream, we will further ask our supplier to have the ESG report in the future. Because our developer, the government will ask us, how about your performance on Scope 3?
Right.
I think this is the trend is coming, yeah?
So, Amie, no supplement, right?
I agree because we just talked.
Right.
So it's already in our sustainability report, and I think if EPD or the Legislative Council, whatever, they can also get a lot of this information from the sustainability reports of the commercial sector. Yeah.
Well, actually, we have some IoT solution provider to help the SME to record their waste properly, right? We are also, BC also doing a trial to record the waste and the recyclable generate. And all the data are uploaded to the cloud so that we can easily quantify the waste and the so-called recycling index, right? How much of waste is being diverted from the landfill, right? So, and we can accommodate one more question, right? So, any question from the floor? I'm ready. You want to ask something, right? Thing.
Thinking.
Don't ask me. Ask them.
I'm not going to ask you. Actually, I mean, I think maybe the question is more for Judy or Swire Coca-Cola, but
Right.
I think anyone can try to answer, right?
Right.
So we talk about reduce and then blah, 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 and then at the end of the day, we generate some waste, right? So very much in order to avoid waste generated, then we need to think about the sustainable design of the product, whatever it is. So in Hong Kong, seems discussions are quite fragmented, and I know Swire Coca-Cola is doing quite a bit on it. So maybe anyone want to speak a few words about how they think we should move forward on the topic of eco-design.
Thank you, Merlin, for the question. So I really hope the government will consider providing incentive, financial incentive, on more R&D on eco-design, because as we know, alternative, I think innovation needs resources. Innovation needs financial resources, especially. If we're just looking into how do we penalize or how do we charge people on not doing well, we're not helping to create that opportunity for innovations. So, so this is my personal view, is that I really hope that there's at least some sort of funding available for eco-design, encouraging the industry to look into what kind of sustainable packaging that we can develop in Hong Kong, I think that would just give us more collaborative minds and innovative brains to think on this together.
Right. So, number supplement is that from collaboration is very important, right? So we need to all to work together, right, to achieve our target, right? So that's come to the end of this section, and let's give a big applause to our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you to our moderator and our panelists for the comprehensive sharing.